What do you suggest in this?
I have muted my laptop. You need to
Okay.
go to mute your laptop, and you need to hear me from your device where we are streaming on Instagram. السلام عليكم جميعا، مرحبا، تحياتي للجميع، كل عام وأنتم بألف خير يا رب. عيد مبارك everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I have a very special guest from Singapore, Miss Evelyn Wong. She is top performance and dance coach in Singapore. And today, as a part of this initiative, Tell Me Your Success Secrets, Miss Wong is going to share with us her story, and maybe she will give us some golden nuggets because we would love to learn about success secrets. So, hello, Evelyn. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's
My
late.
pleasure.
Thank you. I know it's late in Singapore. I think it's now it's night already. It's 9:30 p.m. I think in Singapore, right?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I'm
Appreciate.
vibrantly excited, so that's all good.
Wonderful. Thank you. Same here. Believe me, this is the first time I have interviewed an expert in performance arts and dancing. So I'm very excited, and I would like to invite you, please, to introduce yourself to the audience and maybe share about your own success stories, please, and why would you choose performance art as your career?
Thank you. First of all, I'm so happy and honored to be spending time with Lubna today. Thank you so much. So I'm the founder of the Graceful Swan in Singapore and the Graceful Body Method for adults. Let me give me a moment. I'm hearing a bit of echo. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Actually, we do not hear any echo from this end, from here.
Okay, I'm hearing like double
Yes,
my voices. So
sorry.
okay, so basically, I started performing in the performing arts since I was a kid, as a little kid, and it was never my mom forcing me to do it. It was me who wanted to. So, but my mom was classically trained in Indian dance and other forms of dance. So maybe as a kid, I kind of followed that interest in dancing maybe while she was in her belly.
Okay,
So,
artistic family then. Yeah. It's in the genes.
Yes, my mom never had an opportunity to pursue her dancing dream back in those days. But I'm very grateful I have a mom who would never stop us. She actually allowed us to express ourselves, to explore different activities, to discover what we really want to do. So I guess as a kid, when I was a little girl, I kind of knew what I wanted. I told my mom I wanted to go and dance, and she enrolled me in classical ballet, and I loved it. I loved it so much, and of course, those who have seen ballet, it's a very artistically driven and also a tough discipline. Then so I grew up learning to dance, and of course, in the Asian culture back in those days, I was also not really encouraged to pursue that as a career, but that burning desire in me kept pushing me forward to do so, even though circumstances sometimes told me, it's better not to pursue the academic field instead. So I also actually pursued academically, and I actually love studying. So I love dancing, I love studying. So I guess I had the opportunity to keep that balance academically and also physically enjoying, embracing the beauty of dancing. So fast forward onwards, so I was living in the US, and then I made a decision to move back to Singapore to support some of my family members. And I thought at that point I would not continue pursuing my dancing bits, I was thinking it's better to be more practical and do the kind of the Asian thing and to follow what the dad would want me to do, to be more in the corporate field, which I was in for a bit. But then it was quite interesting that I had mentors in the corporate field who saw me working in the day job and afterwards going to teach ballet and doing performances. And one day somebody told me, and she told me, you love dancing so much, why don't you quit your job and go ahead and do what your heart really desires?
Your mentor told you to quit your job?
Yes, and she wasn't. She's the head of the office, and I guess I was very fortunate because she saw me working really hard in the day job, and then right after at 6 o'clock, I'll go off on my ballet teaching.
So she noticed this spark in you, this passion for dancing.
Yes, and she was actually I guess she said she wasn't a professional dancer, but she trained in tango. So she saw that I was so enthusiastic about dancing. So one day she shared with me and she said, why don't you go ahead? And that was that turning point in my 20s. So I never looked back. I just went ahead and ignored all the noises around me and just went forth and did my dancing full-time, teaching and performing. But then in my 30s, right before my 30s, actually, I was in the peak of my dance career, being a commercial performer, actually at the peak. I suffered a major burnt out and traumatic injuries that caused me to lose my memory, to lose my voice for some time, inability to move, actually. So from a very capable, flexible dancer, where I would always take my free time to go for the hardest Pilates and yoga classes, suddenly I was somebody who could not really move.
Oh my God, this is very drastic. It's a life-changing situation. Was it because of an accident or something?
Yes, I hit my head, unfortunately, and I suffered burnt out, PTSD. So it was an accumulative of different layering. And physically, it was not because of dancing that caused me the injury. It was just taking care of a lot of friends and family and work situation, being very responsible. So, but then that gave me an opportunity to take back a step and to relearn what my higher purpose was, even though I was performing, I was loving it. But then I believe that every one of us come to a different juncture where we're learning different things. So I had I guess my checkbox. I did all my competitions. I did my performance as an artist. I love teaching and I did that. But then it was a refining opportunity because at that time I was thinking, how am I going to work? How am I going to provide for myself to take care of others, my loved ones? And basically, I was always lying in bed. But then at that point, I felt very strongly, I followed my inner wisdom, that there was a higher purpose that I couldn't quite understand then. And so I started actually incorporating all the other things I was teaching my clients holistically for myself.
Okay.
And then I helped to regain because I could not remember, it's quite funny, maybe not funny to people, I could not remember many names, could not remember the guys I dated then. And I could not remember many things. But then it taught me a lot more patience. And then when I started recovering more and more, I started teaching, and some of my fellow clients didn't want me to stop teaching them. My other clients, they love what I do. And they said, come back, coach us, we'd love to have you. So I continued doing that. And when my health permitted me, because I would get fatigued very easily, but then this teaches me really to be more patient. And I had clients of different ages coming to me with different challenges, whether it's emotional challenge or physical challenge, that enabled me to kind of shape my program. So long before I realized, I wasn't even thinking about running a big business. All I was thinking is, I want to recover. I want to be able to move, because I was a person who was very comfortable on stage, to be around people. Then I became someone who was very intimidated by sounds, by people. Yes. And I think one of the most dramatic thing for any performer is not to be able to sense some of your body senses. And I certainly didn't know how to look in the mirror or look at the camera or pose or to move my body parts. So I had to relearn everything slowly. So when I started my business, the turning point was that learning experience to everything that, from a flexible person to not being able to do that. But then that gave me new ways to learn, to serve my clients.
Thank you so much for sharing this amazing story, Evelyn. I mean, you are a great inspiration. I mean, oh my God,
Thank you.
listening here to you, this is really amazing, because we are used to thinking now that when something bad happens, there are so many people who would just stop living. So they are alive, but they are not really living their lives. They are stopped there. They're there. But for you, I find it amazing that you took this as a sign that you need to reconnect to your inner world, and you also explored, we can say, spiritual dimensions to what happened to you. And maybe this, in a way, also gave you the opportunity to turn from someone who is just receiving job offers to someone who is running their own business, your own business. And now you are the creator of maybe job opportunities, and you are the creator of chances. And you are also telling me that you have created your own coaching programs, and we will get to that. We are very interested in learning more about your programs. But first, uh, um, because you know what, we have been doing these interviews since Ramadan, and we have interviewed several coaches and experts who shared their success stories and their turning points. And I think we can see here a common aspect, which is listening to your inner voice. It's like your soul is calling upon you. And it's very interesting, because especially people who are in the corporate world, they were able to hear this calling loud and clear, or they have come across certain circumstances, or there were people inviting them to take the path and follow their passion. And it was only when they were aligned with their passion, they were able to achieve even bigger success than before. So maybe you can share with us some of your success secrets, then based on your own experience.
Thank you, Lubna. That is so true. I believe that everyone often think with our head, because we're educated with so much knowledge. Sometimes we get so busy with the noises around us, we forget to go in with it.
I agree.
Like how you mentioned about the spiritual dimension. It really, to me, it doesn't matter what religious faith or spirituality you align yourself with. But most importantly, that teachings embrace you to help you to love yourself more. To help you, when you love yourself more, you love others, and you'll be willing to give more. So look, now one of my biggest success, I truly believe, was when I was lying in bed, was the mindset, even though I cannot remember many things then, and my mom was really absolutely devastated, I was connecting to the divine being, God, to me, that, he has a purpose for me, and I just didn't know it then. Yes. So I just have to tap into what are my gifts and hone the gifts and stop holding back. And even though I wasn't able to hold a pen, I could not write. And it was very painful at times. I had to force myself to write. It was training me mental, physical, emotional resilience. And that allowed me to keep going forth every day. Where the days where I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm really tired, but the next day I go on again. It's a brand new day. So it's that strength that I would say it's beyond my own, but also knowing that it's always inside me. I'm never alone. That I could keep going forth. That kind of pushed me forward. So that was I would say, if I want to think about it, my leading pillar, that I knew it inside, that I could go forward no matter what. Yes. And even though I could not do the movements, I was training my brain. I was not doing a lot of studying at that time because I was having migraines for 2 years daily.
Mm-hmm.
I trained my brain that if I could not do this movement, what if I could do it in my mind? I close my eyes and think, visualize it. And visualizing actually became a very hard thing for me. It used to be an easy peasy thing when I was choreographing and dancing. Then I was like, whoa, I have to relearn. So that relearning is that turning point of success for me, that I have to keep going back. It's almost like dancing. You take a step back, if your partner step on your toe, or it's a partner you kind of fall off, you step up again. It's like dancing. So I also truly believe that the discipline of classical ballet, when I had a very tough discipline, shaped me to never give up. That grit, that even though people around me were absolutely gutted, they saw a very cheerful person, and they could not understand why I wasn't grieving for myself. I said, I have tons of things to do. I want to serve the community. I went out to serve the community. I helped humanitarian needs. I said, you know what? Not everyone needs to know my story every day.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do is turn up to serve in any way I could to help them. So that was my recovery period, and the turning point where people get to know me and people love what I do. And the word of mouth kind of spread, and that kind of formed my clientele too, that clientele come from different places, different countries, that they come to know what I value, because I value a lot about family, about connections, and people who value what you like, they're drawn to you naturally.
Indeed.
Yes. Yeah. And when we are authentic about when I say authentic, it doesn't mean like sharing every single problem we have, but it's more of being true to ourselves when you have a genuine heart to help someone through your services. And sometimes, and very often, it's not even like the programs that I'm trying to sell to my clients. They had a need somewhere. So, for example, this is quite interesting because last year, and I love this story.
Yes, please share.
Because in Singapore, it has been quite restrictive. I haven't traveled out of Singapore for the last maybe 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
The last year, there was always on and off, I would say, stay at home, or, there's something changing. So one of my clients had a little hamster. And one day she contacted me. And at that point, we were not allowed to step out of the home. And she texted me, "Dear Miss Evelyn, I know you love pets. And I know you love holistic way of recovery and essential oils." And she said, "Could you help my daughter?" So I teach the children, her children. I run children programs for kids and the adult program. And so the beautiful thing was I was able to serve her with my knowledge that I learned from my own hobbies to help her hamster, because she could not go to the vet. And I'm not a hamster specialist, and I would not dare to say I'm a specialist for hamster. But that treated her hamster, and hamster is still alive.
Oh, how lovely. How lovely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
For doing this little hamster this favor. I think it's amazing. Eventually we are all souls, and we are sharing this life together one way or another. And I find it fascinating that you were able to give help to this creature, right? Even through Zoom. I mean, the last couple of years have been hard and harsh for everyone because of the pandemic and the quarantine. It was very hard for so many people. Millions of people around the world suffered, and I find it fascinating that you were able to help So before you share about your programs, I would like to summarize some of your success secrets that you shared with us. Bearing in mind that you went through a life-changing experience, and I can only imagine how horrible it is for someone who is a dancer, someone who is movement has been an integral part of your life forever since childhood, right? And then suddenly, out of the blue, you have this accident, and now you are confined to bed, and you have lost your ability, your mobility. I mean, this is really unthinkable. But still, because of these secrets, you were able to turn things around. And here you are today, here in front of us, and you are also sharing your wisdom. You are sharing your love and your experience. It's fascinating how you turned this tragic event to a spiritual event and you drew lessons from it. I love especially what you said, that regardless of which religion you belong to, still when you are able to connect with the divine, and only then you will be able to turn things around, and maybe you will be able to start figuring out what is my purpose, what am I doing here on earth. Also, I find it very important to not be distracted by the noises. That is so true. I mean, in the outer reality, there are so many things that are happening around us. The noise is very loud. We can get distracted very easily from our purpose, from our soul's purpose. But when we are connected again, and then we can be more aligned with our purpose again, and we will be able to tap into our gifts, and this is very precious. I love so much that even though you were not able to move in your body, and you are a dance choreographer and a performance coach, but still you were able to visualize and do everything in your head. What a precious gift. So you see,
Thank you,
there is
Lola.
always a way. There is always a way.
Yeah.
Body cannot move, but we still have this gift of imagination, this gift of visualization. And if I learned anything from a transformational NLP, is that when you visualize it, then you will be able to materialize it. And here you are, after so many years from that sad incident, you recovered very beautifully, and you continued even to provide a holistic approach for your clients, for your friends, for your families, for your family. What a motivation. This is very inspiring for all of us here. So this brings me to my next question. We are very interested in knowing who is your typical client, who can approach you. Now we have learned that you are also experienced in Pilates, in yoga as well. You are so talented in so many kinds of these spiritual arts, right? So maybe you can tell us about your clients who needs your help
Yes. Oh, thank you
and
for
how you can help
asking
them.
that. Basically, I run a children's program in schools.
Mhm.
So quite often they are the expats, the international kids, and also some local kids that come to me. But for my adult program, the Graceful Body Method, that I cater to clients, they're typically mompreneurs, high
Mompreneurs.
achiever women. Yes. So I have ladies typically in their 40s to their 60s, but recently in the last year, I got to know some lovely ladies in their 30s coming forth. And you'll be surprised because even women in their 30s are mompreneurs. They have posture issues, they have pains, tension. For example, like raising the hand for some, or bring the hands and touching at the back could be an issue even for some of them. So some of them, of the clients who need, I would say, need help, they're the ones who are interested in a more sustainable, holistic way of moving not to just get flexible in the physical sense, you know, to some people when they think of ballet or yoga or Pilates, think of, you know, to getting that linear line. They are coming more into an awareness, a deeper awareness, where the tension are how they could improve themselves. So I always say that I'm not teaching, I'm not coaching. I'm facilitating them to discover their bits and pieces that they want to improve. So they become the best version of themselves. And when they step into their roles as whether it's a mom, a corporate, a leader, or any job or their responsibility are doing, they feel vibrant. And because of perhaps since I was in my last stage of my 20s, then I was thinking, I don't want to feel like every woman has to feel old and the age feeling terribly, feeling lousy about themselves. So in my last year, I guess when I was turning 30, I said I wanted to find a way to create a program to help women to feel younger, more vibrant. And so some of my clients who need help would say that, hey, you know, I feel like certain parts of my face feel a bit more lifted. It feels like an anti-aging, which is true because when I work on certain movements on the floor, we're working on the cranium, the nervous system. And this is also I would say, consequences of what I went through, because I actually had one side of my facial, I would say my muscles drooped. I had eyes, it drooped because of that incident of that nerves and all. So with that program, I also helped myself to become more vibrant. And I'm not a person who really like to do maybe enhancement in that sense. I like something more natural. Okay. And I guess it's also quite common with people who had traumatic or head injuries and all. Quite unlikely you want to go for an enhancement to do something on the face in that way. So my clients who come to me typically like natural way of looking more vibrant. Yes.
Wow, that's wonderful. But you know what? I'm really curious. As a mompreneur myself, I'm really curious to know what's included in the program. Is it like sessions, one-on-one sessions? Is it group sessions? Do you work with clients in your studio or online? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more. So if I am to book a session with you, how will that go?
Oh, sure. They can look on my website, gracefulbodymethod.com.
Gracefulbodymethod.com.
Yes.
Okay, we will make sure to link the website to the recording of this interview so that everyone will be able to visit the website and learn more about your work.
Absolutely. They can come in for a complimentary session.
Nice.
Only because through you guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
that come forth, because I usually run this particular program online now to serve my clients in different regions. So I like a cozy, semi-private program because I look at everyone, and I would say each time when I do the session is a 3-part method. When you come in, within 5 minutes, I know all the ladies' parts. I don't have to scan, but I kind of know where I have to work. So
of course, from experience.
Yes,
from experience.
Absolutely. So I will tweak my program each time with each session to support the ladies in wherever they are, to help to improve their posture or their pains or any tension they're having. Yes.
That's wonderful. And how long is the program or the session?
This is typically, I have a 3-part session. The one particular session that the ladies love is 75 minutes.
Okay. Wow.
It's one that I love doing,
full
75
session.
minutes.
Okay.
It's a full-on session. Because I truly believe that if I want my clients to feel the same benefits, the best way is to experience it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't have to do anything. They will tell me right after the session. Actually, I could see from their face right after the session, I know whether it works for them.
That's fantastic, and I find it amazing that you are also now offering the sessions online. One of the many benefits of the coronavirus pandemic. Now we are
Yes.
able to have access to such great chances online. So Evelyn, we are at time, but before you go, maybe you could tell us if you are having any upcoming events. Do you have any professional or maybe even educational plans?
Oh, thank you for asking. So I'm currently involved in an upcoming fundraising recital. I decided to do that. I'm actually doing two. So initially it was just one, but towards the end of the year. But I decided a whole another one because some of my clients are relocating out of Singapore. So this is a little gesture I want to support for my love for Ukraine and some of my lovely friends who are in the dance field in Ukraine. So it's not just for the dancers in Ukraine. It's just really to serve, to help, to create some funds for them. So my little ballerinas from different schools will come together. Some of them has never performed before. So my youngest one will be 3 years old.
Wow.
And they will be doing a little showcase.
Oh, how heartwarming. The little ballerinas dancing for Ukraine. This is beautiful.
And it's they are only given less than 8 weeks to prepare. And most of them have not danced before. So it's quite a fun challenge for me to get them prepared for that. But on the other hand, I'm also doing this VIP coaching for Global Empowered Women Summit. So if the ladies who are interested to find out what do I do and in my programs, they can always connect with me.
Yes, absolutely. This is fantastic. So how can people connect with you then, Evelyn?
They can always email me at info@thegracefulswan.com or connect with me on my Facebook, Evelyn Wong. Yeah.
Okay. This is my personal favorite way to connect because now everyone is on social media. So this is an invitation for everybody who is now with us live or who will be catching the recording later. Please do connect with Evelyn Wong on her social media or her email address or website, which we are going to be sharing as links. With this interview later. Any final word, any piece of advice to conclude this interview with?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lumna, for this.
You're most welcome.
I believe that every woman, including you and I, have a higher purpose. And like how you're doing this beautiful initiative and extending it beyond Ramadan to help, to share the word to every follower of yours, or even people that we may not know yet and we get acquainted with, that we get to support each other with our gifts and talents. And that can only happen when we're aligned with our true highest purpose.
I do agree with you 100%. So with these beautiful words, I would like to thank you so much again for taking part in this initiative. Tell me your success secrets, even though it's late now in Singapore. It's late night in Singapore. I truly appreciate your vulnerability, you sharing your story. You are very, very inspiring. And I am personally, I'm honored to have you here today. And yes, by all means, connect with Evelyn and make sure to grab this opportunity to have a free session with her. It's amazing. Thank you so much. And I wish you a very nice evening. Thank you so much for everyone who has been here with us today or those who will catch the replay later. Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.